Okay, so last time we talked about classical physics, quantum physics, and I think it's a really interesting now segue to talk about our connection to the natural world around us and why our connection to nature is actually inherent to our health as individuals. And especially now in the society we live in that's like so disconnected from nature. I think we need to kind of reintroduce this into the modern world because we can see the effects very clearly of this disconnection. So why would you say, based on like the physics, like why do we need nature for our health?
So it's a very interesting question. I think one way I tend to think of it is most of us live in busy cities. We have a lot of, let's say, the external environment that we live in is very noisy. It's polluted. We have a lot of, our sort of senses are always overworked. We have EM signals from our laptops, from our microphones.
What's EM?
Electromagnetic.
Oh, okay.
Signals from
electromagnetic.
Exactly.
Okay. Not radiation.
We also have radiation coming into us. So we're always basically overhyped, overworked.
Okay.
Our nervous system is always vigilant. At the physics standpoint, and here's I think where we need to talk a bit about grounding.
Grounding / earthing. Because I think sometimes there's a bit of misconception with the term grounding.
Exactly. Our system's always sort of overstimulated. We accumulate also sometimes a tiny bit of charge on our body. And I think
so we accumulate a little bit of charge, like positive charge?
Positive or negative charge,
okay,
depending on the sources.
Okay.
But I think before we talk about that, the wellness space talks a lot about grounding loosely as well.
Oh, yeah?
So I think in the wellness space, the idea is that you ground on, let's say, soil or even on PMF mats. And
yeah, so when you say ground, what do you mean?
So you're barefoot
okay,
on soil, let's say.
You just go stand.
To stand in nature.
Ground. Okay, ground.
I think what the wellness space tries to sell is that this mechanism somehow dissipates all the excess charge in your body into the ground, and that this excess charge, if it's in your body, is harmful. It inflames your body. And this is not entirely accurate.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's completely untrue, but it's not entirely accurate. And I think a lot more studies have to be done in this space, in the space of grounding and how charge moves from the body to the earth. But I think what we can say about grounding is two things.
Okay.
The first thing is, yes, the body does, at least at the surface, from the external environment, in your home, when you're sitting outside, you do get sometimes some excess charge.
So you kind of are like absorbing charge from the things around you that are also electromagnetic?
Electromagnetic charge. From electromagnetic signals. And what that does is that your nervous system's always vigilant.
Yeah.
So it's now looking at even more stimulants.
Okay.
So what grounding could do, I'm using the word could because again we need more studies, is that it could neutralize some of this charge because the earth, earth broadly defined, soil, grass, etc., you can think of as a reservoir of taking in or giving charge. So say you're a bit more positive, it can give you some electrons to neutralize, so some negative charge.
Okay.
So you're a bit more, let's say, vice versa, and it could take charge from you as well. But that said, I think the key benefit of grounding does not come directly from the mechanism of charge transfer.
Okay.
But from the stuff that accompany grounding, which is spending time in nature, disconnecting your mind, breathing slowly, looking into sort of green fields and so forth. And I think these effects are stronger in calming down your nervous system than the direct physical, let's say, mechanism.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's not important.
Yeah.
I actually think we need more studies in physics, more studies in biophysics, in medicine that actually look at the direct mechanisms of charge transfer. And I think these are currently understudied.
Okay, so just to kind of like consolidate what you said. So the claim in the wellness world is that grounding or earthing facilitates a physical mechanism of charge transfer.
From your body.
Where because you're kind of like absorbing charges from these the technology in the world around you.
And even your internal processes give charged particles and all of that.
Right. So but also there's a health implication of that. Like when you have a charge, it's actually disrupting your body's processes.
So that's the claim in wellness, which again, I don't think is entirely true, because not all charges are sort of negative to your body. Some charges are vital for the biological processes. So the claim that you're somehow this charged thing that needs to be dissipated, I think is over-exaggerated.
So there's like a blanket statement being made, in your opinion.
Exactly.
Okay, but the idea is that you go stand on some grass, and then the earth is going to either take away or give you charge based on what your body needs to come back to
the neutral.
Okay.
And the idea is the neutral form is sort of less in the sympathetic state.
Okay, so it's less fight or flight.
Less fight or flight. Yeah.
And so how does it do that? It's like, but it's, you explained it to me once that it's like it's in waves. Like the charges are neutralized via waves.
So if you have charge at the surface, you can explain the charge transfer purely classically. Of basically what the field is called electromagnetism. Classical electromagnetism, of how charge goes from, let's say, a material to another material. So a simple analogy is you have a positive charge here, you have a negative charge here, they combine basically. But then you can also be a bit more fancy and explain this charge transfer quantum mechanically by various processes called quantum tunneling and all of that, which we touched upon a bit briefly in the first few episodes.
Can you remind us what quantum tunneling is?
So quantum tunneling, it's this, again, spooky implication or phenomena in quantum mechanics, where particles or electrons can tunnel, in this sense, tunnel into states, or actually into physical barriers that they would not do classically. So the analogy,
so they can just like pass through, like a ghost going through a wall.
Exactly. And this is how some charge transfer and some processes in the body actually happens. But then again, I think my reading of the literature in this space is that there's sort of two extremes. There's the wellness extreme saying somehow, let's say, visualizing the human body as this charged ion moving that needs to be dissipated, so you need to ground. There's the other extreme, which some scientists take, that say this is all sort of bullocks. It's not true. I think with the concept of grounding, we kind of need a middle way of there seems to be some very profound health benefits of basically spending time in nature barefoot, and all the accompanying processes of getting sunlight and reducing your breath and all of that. And I think this requires much more nuance in studying. And I basically am with the opinion that this is a very sort of nascent field of studying. And I think we need more studies, simply more experiments.
And also, if we're just like now starting to understand quantum physics, to be able to make these claims that like, oh yeah, like you use this mat and it's gonna like neutralize you because we base it, it's evidence-based, and there's these studies that show that like there's these quantum waves that the earth,
100%.
you know, like that's a bit of a stretch.
100%.
Right?
And I think this is where we need to, because I think grounding and more broadly spending time in nature does have very serious health implications.
Of course.
Usually positively.
Yeah.
But I think they're understudied at the mechanism level. Hence, some of the claims are profound. Quantum waves, PMF, all of that. I think you need more studies there, frankly.
For sure.
But I think what's probably more interesting, or let's say we could talk a bit more about, is what actually happens when you ground. Other than just standing still on, barefoot. I think you just actually have a sense of calm.
There's, I mean, look, comes back to, in yoga, they say the first affliction of the mind is that we forget. Okay. And what we forget is that we're one, that we are not separate from anything in the world around us. Separateness is an illusion. And it's from this first affliction that all of our problems develop downstream of. And when we come back to the reality that we are one. Because even if we apply classical physics to this, I mean, we talked about this in one of the first episodes, where do you draw the line between physical and non-physical? We are both matter and space. Like, we're just a bunch of cells condensed against each other. And within these cells, there's space and organelles. Within the organelles, there's more space. Like, it's just like non-ending. Yeah. So we can say, yes, we are part of one existence, one continuous existence. So I think in the simplest sense, coming back to nature is like a subconscious way of reminding yourself and like coming back to your nature, because we all come from earth. Like we are born and we die, we go to the earth, we are natural beings. So I think just like on like a broad scale, it's like you're reuniting with your nature. And then also just like being in open space, there is a parallel to the mind. The like staring out into the boundlessness of an ocean opens up, you know, your mind. There's physically no constraints. And what we're starting to see is that like the physical and the mental really tend to parallel each other. You know, like our thoughts are underlined by physical circuits of electricity, neural pathways. And the more you activate certain thought loops, the more you think certain thoughts. So in a sense, we can say that our mental, like the physical and mental mirror each other. So if you take that like to the context of the outside world, you can regulate your internal state through a physical experience. So if you're feeling anxious, for example, or you're feeling like you need perspective, go take a hike, look, stand at the top of the mountain, you're going to see everything, you know, you're going to see the whole possibility, you know, of existence. So in that sense, I think it's a non-linguistic reminder. It's something that's way more inherent in our makeup. So I think it touches us on a level that's beyond like what we can make sense of at face value. So for me, at least, that's like that would be my perspective on why being in nature can be so therapeutic. And also like when you're walking through the woods, you hear all these little sounds, you're getting like all these little micro stimulations, you know, and you realize how intricate and interconnected everything is. And there's so much to discover. There's so much to pay attention to. There's so like, it's you can follow your curiosity and just appreciate the beauty. Like we were talking about that leaf that I was telling you about. And I was like, literally picked up this leaf and I'm like, look at it. Like it's so intricate. Like it has so many details. It has so many little like the pattern, the symmetry, like it's beautiful. It's an intelligent design, you know, whether you believe in a creator or not, there's clearly like a coherent pattern, you know, like that repeats through so many different levels of nature. You talk about like fractals, for example. Isn't fractals something that you see all throughout nature?
Snowflakes are fractals.
Snowflakes, Romanesco broccoli, you know, like that's the trippiest fruit ever. Have you ever seen it? Yeah. It's literally like you're on acid looking at this piece of broccoli, you know? So I think just through our senses, nature knows how to stimulate the senses in a way that calms us, brings us back to ourselves.
So about this point, it's a question from my end, because I think many of us confuse stimulation with only the sympathetic state. And so
like as being a bad thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how would you tie it down to calming? So you're using the word stimulants in a way which could also be a toolkit to calm down rather than stimulate.
Yeah, I'm using the term stimulate in the sense that like it's activating a sense receptor, which creates some kind of felt experience and then cognitive processing of the experience. And then you have like, what does this experience mean to you, right? So that's in the sense stimulation, not in the sense that like it's gonna raise your heart rate and make your breath more shallow.
Right.
For example, if you're listening to music, it's still stimulating your nervous system, but depending on the type of music, it can put you into like a very calm state, or it can put you into a very active, vigilant state. So yeah, I mean it more in the sense of it's creating an impression on you, let's say.
So in that sense, when you ground, let's say, you're also part of your experience in nature with various different stimulants.
Yeah, you mean grounding, like going standing barefoot? Yeah, I think so. And again, it's like these studies are looking at grounding through a reductionist lens. They want to know, is it exactly this mechanism that's producing these effects? But there's so many individual differences. There's so much nuance. There's so many confounding factors that how can you remove just this one mechanism from the broader context of what's going on, you know? So I would say that like it's everything together, you know? Like I mean, you can go ground in nature and then like someone can be like you could be standing barefoot, but someone could be chasing you with a knife. I don't know if you're going to get the benefit, you know, of grounding. Like it's beyond the physical mechanism. Yeah, of course, for sure. Everything. I mean, one thing you're going to learn about me is I love nuance. I always need to take things from like a holistic perspective because I don't really think there's any other way. If you want to really make a difference in your life and in your health, like, I mean, going back to these like grounding mats. Okay, maybe we don't have the science to validate this claim specifically, but like if you're using the grounding mat and you feel like it's helping you, then keep using the grounding mat, you know? Like you make that decision for yourself. It doesn't matter.
Spend some more time in nature.
Spend some more time in nature. But, you know, busy schedules, if you're going to tell someone like, yeah, you're working like 16-hour days, but go to nature. No, like get a grounding mat, you know? It can be helpful, but it's important to just take it within, you know, the context of the broader picture. It doesn't replace the benefits of time in nature, but if like, you know, you're feeling that it's helping you, then why not? You know, do you. That's the moral of the story, I think. Yeah.